Hello and welcome to the Driver's Room. This is the Festival of Speed and we're with Tier 1 today for round 3, coming today from Autodrome Lago Maggiore to GP layout. And we are into week 3 of this 8 race season. We'll head down to the grid shortly and see how the guys got on during qualifying. But before we head down, we'll just take a quick look at the team standings after round 2. So in first we have Pegasus, taking 38 points last week, bringing their total to 99. Not far behind though, reigning champions Neon Knights with a big points haul of 52 points last week, bringing their total up to 90, only 9 points away from Pegasus. A good result from Neon Knights today, could see them snatch back the lead of the title. In third we have Honey Badger, 35 points from last week's race, 74 in total. Team Sega in fourth, with 31 points, bringing their total to 61. Also in fifth, Send It Racing also took a haul of 31 points, taking their total to 47. In sixth, we have Wrecking Ball, 22 points from last week's race, taking their total to 46 for the season. JB Lads taking 13 points last week in 7th, giving them 41 points. Big Scary Goat Speed only taking 8 points, as I think they only have one driver racing for them currently, so that gives them a total of 22. So that's the league table and how it stands going into round 3. Still all to play for, still plenty of races to go, so we'll head on down to the grid and see how the guys in Tier 1 line up ready for the lights out. So sticking on pole for round 3, we have Awesome Alex running the Racing Super Softs. Great start to the season so far for Alex, taking a very unlucky second place in round 1, but then taking pole to victory in the last round, helping Neon Knights get that 52 points last week. He'll be looking for a similar result today, starting off in pole. Let's see how he gets on during the race. In second, we've got Mungino on Racing Super Softs. A decent start to the season, maybe a couple of little bits of bad luck here and there. Has held him back to a little bit of a 4th place in round 1 and 5th in round 2. Starting off from second today, he'll be looking to maybe convert this into a little bit higher finishing place and grab some points for Wrecking Ball Racing. In third, we have Dazzler on Racing Super Softs. Daz has carried on his trend of his bounce back after a disappointing round 1. Managed to get 6th place, but a few mistakes sent him back to the tail end of the field and he had to fight his way back. But a great run in the last round, seeing him take 2nd. He'll be looking to grab another podium today for Send It Racing. In 4th, we have the first appearance of the season for Cafe Del Mar. He's on Racing Super Softs. He's also racing for Wrecking Ball Racing. So a great qualifying position today for Cafe in his first race in Tier 1 of the season. He didn't participate in the first 2 rounds. Let's see how he can get on today. Hopefully back up Mongino and the 2 guys can attack the guys ahead. In 5th place, we've got Flapjack on Racing Super Softs. Had a very good start to the season for Team Pegasus, who currently hold the top spot in the championship. Flapjack took 1st in round 1 and 3rd place in round 2. So I'm looking for another good result today, another good haul of points. Let's see where he can end up, starting from 5th today on the grid. In 6th, we have Wilco on Racing Super Softs. Great qualifying result today from Wilco, starting off from 6th place. Has had a pretty tough start to the season so far in the Ferrari. Maybe not got the setup just right. He took 11th in round 1, 7th in round 2. So really looking for a bounce back performance today. Start getting his confidence built up in the car. We'll see what he can do from 6th. In 7th, we've got Mr. Sean on Racing Super Softs. One of the front runners of the series, normally having a bit of a quieter start to season 4. Starting from 7th today, he took 7th in round 1, but managed to get 4th in round 2. So things are on the way up for this very quick driver. Let's see if he can continue that trend today. A lot of work to do starting from 7th. We'll see how he gets on. Starting in 8th today we have Jeff Kuska on Racing Super Softs. A pretty decent start of season for Jeff Kuska, the Honey Badger racing driver. He took 3rd in round 1 and 6th in round 2. So we'll be looking to maybe improve on just last week's race. He does have the pace to do it, so he should be at the front with these guys. Be interesting to see how he battles through the grid today, starting from 8th. In 9th we have Mr. Driversroom, MJR Mercer on Racing Super Softs. Pretty disappointing start to the season, I would say, for Mercer's standards. Doesn't seem to be getting a handle on this Ferrari at all. Doesn't seem to be to his liking. He's took 2 10th place finishes in round 1 and round 2. He's starting off a position higher up in this race, so let's see if he can capitalize on that and maybe make some moves further. If he's managed to tweak that car a little bit more to his liking, we'll see how he gets on when the lights go out. In 10th we have, as we said, the lonely BSG driver, Speed. He's on Racing Super Softs. It's a pretty decent start to the season. A 5th in round 1 and 8th in round 2. He's really going well. You know, seems he's battling by himself in this team event. So see how he gets on today, starting from the back end of the field. In 11th we have Murkoff on Racing Softs. Seems to be following his strategy from the first 2 races. Don't know whether the Team Sega guys don't quite have a handle on the Ferrari, but it's a familiar sight now in Tier 1, these 2 guys towards the back end of the grid. We know that they are a lot quicker than this, so we'll see if they can get through the field today. So Murkoff took an 8th in round 1 and a 13th in round 2. Not like him, so we'll see if he maybe made some setup changes and got the car more handling how he likes. And in 12th we have Rocker. Again, just the same story as with his brother Murkoff. We're still on Racing Softs. I think maybe they're struggling with tyre wear and just the balance of the car overall with everybody else on Racing Super Softs. So we'll see maybe some tweaks in the wake, like I said with Murkoff, was maybe help Rocker get a better handle on this Ferrari, because both these drivers are much quicker than being down the back of the field. Rocker took a 9th in round 1 and 12th in round 2. Really hoping these guys can really make a good fist of it today in round 3 from Maggiore. But that's your grid for round 3. So let's head on down to the front and see how the guys get on as we head down to turn 1 for the first time when they hit the track in anger. So here we are, down on the grid, waiting for the start of the race. As you see, the revs starting to build. And the lights are out, and they are away. A great start from Alex and Desla in 30s, pressuring Alex and Mangino as they head down into the first turn. Mangino staying out wide, making sure he's got the inside line for the second corner, and slots back into second. Desla just slots into third. Flapjacks held his position. He's actually got ahead of Cafe. Cafe's had a terrible start. Cafe has dropped down to 7th. He will be fuming after seeing Mercer running wide there. Murkoff has had a great start. He's jumped from 11th up to 8th. Rocker also up to 10th. So the 2 Sega guys have got away pretty well. Wilco and Speed must have had it coming together. Wilco's got front damage. We've got yellow flags. Jeff Kuska has had an incident there, just coming through the hairpin. A lot of action in these opening corners so far, as this man is streaming away. Mangino is trying to keep him honest, but he's worrying about Dazzler behind, who's not giving him any breaks at all. As Mung has a massive moment there, just coming out of that tricky downhill hairpin, gets his foot on the power. The back end tried to step out, tried to kill him into the wall, but he managed to control it. Just lost one place to Tesla. Talking with Mangino in the week, as we are in the same team, is just what he seems to be struggling with. Just the fact that the car does try to kill you at any point. Flapjack going well in fourth. Cafe's now back up to fifth, so he's made some moves. Sean in sixth. Rocker now up to seventh. Rocker's having a great run. He's got Murkoff behind him in eighth. The two Sega drivers really pushing now. They must have been listening to me on the grid walk. They're trying to get some moves made and get higher up the grid. Mercer now in ninth with Jeff Kuska all over the back of him. So much action in these opening 2 laps. Wilco still off the back and speed's dropped way down the back. Oh, see Alex running wide down at the hairpin. That's going to give Dazzler the run up into first, and Mangino is also up into second. Alex has dropped back to third. He'll be fuming at that. Flapjack also now trying to have a look at Alex. Alex just maybe got a little bit of dirt on them tyres. Flapjack tucked right into the slipstream. He's gonna maybe have a look down towards the hairpin. See Mangino's tucked into Tessa's slipstream. I need to set his hairpin. Mangino moves to the inside and slots through. Hopefully he can keep the car more stable on the exit this time, and he does. That's Mangino up into first. Flapjack also did the same maneuver. He's up into third. Dazza is trying to pressure Mangino, though he's fighting back. He doesn't want to let go of that first position. These boys are going to wear my voice out by the end of this race. So as we come to finish lap 2, Mangino is now in the lead of the race. Our third leader in 2 laps. A lot of people sort of didn't like these cars when we first started using them, but I must say as a commentator they have really given us some great racing. So we're on to lap 3. Let's take a quick run through the field. We've got Mangino in first, Dazza in a very close second. Alex is now up to third, just made a move on Flapjack, who's now in fourth. Cafe is in fifth. Mr. Sean in sixth. Kuska's in seventh. Rocker in eighth. Mercer's in ninth. Wilco is in 10th. Murkoff has had an incident and he's dropped back to 11th. And Speed is in 12th. Yeah, you can just see there, like I was maybe talking about the Sega drivers suffering with tyre wear. The back end tries to go around on Murkoff. He's really suffering with tyre wear there on the racing softs compared to Speed on the racing super softs behind him. Let's take a look at Rockers. Rockers isn't as bad. Pretty much on par with the super soft guys. Let's head on back to the front. Mangino now stretching away from Tesla slightly. But Tesla's not letting him get too far away. Pretty much identical on tyres and fuel. Mangino maybe just used a little bit more fuel. Alex still in third, but Flapjack has not let him get away. Flapjack really pushing. See if he can force Alex into a mistake. Cafe is catching these two as they squabble just ahead of him. Cafe is slowly creeping up onto the back of Flapjack and Alex. Just dropping Mr. Sean. Mangino still holding first position. But that Ferrari does look twitchy. in spots, Mangino having to do a lot of corrections just to keep her going the way he wants. It looks like he's maybe stretched out a little bit further over Destination, just runs a little bit wide through there, but not enough that's going to cause any issues. Oh, look at Cafe now, he's really closing on the back of Flapjack. Flapjack's actually dropped away from Alex a little bit there. Maybe he was seeing Cafe coming up and start driving a little bit more defensively, but Cafe is crawling all over the back of him now. Just needs to be patient through this section. It's not really a place you want to be trying to dive up the inside of. Great racing from these guys. So close with no contact so far. Cafe looking for a good run as Flapjack dives into the pits. 7 minutes in, Flapjack going for a very early pit stop. So is Jeff Kuska. His tyres are a lot more worn than Flapjack's. So Flapjack comes back out in 5th, just ahead of Mr. Sean. Not too far behind Cafe either, so it was a very quick pit stop here at Maggiore. Just here, Alex struggling to get the power down there ahead. Oh, it's a massive moment from Alex, but from what would be a massive moment into near death for most people is just Alex driving. He's very good at a good drift now and again, but that's allowed Cafe to close right up on the back of him. He's also cooked some of his rear tyres. Cafe's really going to be looking to put the pressure on. Alex struggling to get the power down there at the hairpin. Cafe's looking to the outside. Maybe going to look to try and switch back through. He's just going to sit and stay patient. If you remember from last, you see a little bit of a lock up there from Alex. And he's just struggling again to put power down. Round he goes! That time was a little bit too much. Don't think there was any contact from Cafe. Well, it's very hard when a car's sliding in front of you like that. Alex is struggling to get the car going, maybe in a little bit of anger, just burying the throttle. Oh, this is all going wrong for Alex. I think he's maybe given up. We'll leave him to what looks like a temper tantrum. So, Rock goes into the pits, Will goes into the pits. Mangino still yet to stop and still in first position. Desla now still in second. He's also yet to stop. Tyres are pretty much equal between the front two. It's going to be interesting strategy battle for them. Cafe now in third. So Wrecking Ball Racing in a prime position in this race with both drivers on the grid for the first time, holding first and third. Still, we're only 1/3 through the race, so we'll see if they can hold on to the end. There's Flapjack on fresh rubber, is hunting Cafe down. Mr. Sean, after his stop, is in 5th. Everybody gaining a place from Alex's troubles. Jeff Kuska in 6th, he's also stopped now on the racing softs. Rocker in 7th, fantastic race from Rocker so far, starting from dead last on the grid. He's now in 7th. Wilco in 8th, and we just lost Alex there. Speed in 9th, Murkoff in 10th. We've also lost Mercer, so we've lost Mercer and now we've lost Alex from the race. as Dazzler jumps into the pits, he's going to be maybe looking for the undercut on Mangino. Cafe is also diving in. Camera's gone a bit mental. Dazzler is held in second position. Flapjack is now in third. Cafe's just come out behind him, but Cafe's going to have the fresher rubber. Let's see what he can do towards Flapjack. Now the battle's really on between these guys. At the minute, Mung has a 6.4 second lead over Dazzler. Dazzler just after stopping will be heating the tyres up and getting them up to their sticky best. Mung is past the best of his tyres, so we'll be trying to push as hard as he can to stop the undercut being performed, but we'll see how that pans out now. Imagine Mung will be heading in either this lap or you'll hold it out for around the 15-minute mark, going for a one stop. Field behind now, pretty spread out, although these two are having a ding-dong battle at the moment. Smoko runs wide just as I say that. That ends that battle for now. Give Rocker a bit of breathing room ahead. Let's see as Mung's coming towards the final corner. Does he swing it left to the pits? No, he's going around at least once more. See, there's Dazzler in the background. Mungino still holding the fastest lap of a 1:52.7. See what the gap is at now between them. It's down to 3 seconds, so Dazzler is chewing time out of Mungino. Mungino last lap was a 1:55.2. Dazzler 1:51.8. So those fresher tyres really paying off. That would have been his out lap, sorry. I was going to say that would be a fastest lap, but that was his out lap from the pits. Flapjack is now... Oh, sorry, Flapjack is still ahead of Cafe. Cafe's closing slowly. Slowly making moves on towards the back of Flapjack. Sean in a little bit of a world by himself there. Jeff Koska trying to close up on the back of him, but being one of the early stoppers, he's going to probably have to stop again soon. But look to those tyres. It's around about the 7-8 minute mark he stopped. Rocker still going well. Wilco starting to catch up again behind him. Oh, Dazzler is... What's happened here? Mung's dropped right back. Oh, let's take a look. I think Mung's had an issue. Hang on. So we join Mung now, heading down towards the hairpin. This is the place where he had the massive moment earlier on in the race. The back end stepping out. Turns in fine, and he puts the power down again. Yeah, this time he can't stop it. And she just eats the barrier. Just down the tyre wear thing. Maybe trying to push to the 15-minute mark has just cost him the win. So that's promoted Dazzler up into first. Flapjack in the second. Cafe is now in third. Mung will be kicking himself. He's struggling just with the right front damage here to get the car turned in. Thankfully, we only run light damage, so that's disappeared now. He should definitely be heading to the pits as Flapjack dives in for his second stop. And in comes Mungino. Fuel, it won't be an issue. It'll just be tyres and out. As he comes out behind Mr. Sean, so... Bit of a disaster for Mungino, but we'll see if he can push on through now with this fresh set of rubber. So we'll run through the field order now after a little bit of shuffling around after the pit stops. Dazzler is in first. Cafe now up into second. Flapjack in third, but he has stopped twice. Mr. Sean in fourth. Magino in a very close fifth after his pit stop. Jeff Cusker sliding through the hairpin in sixth. Rocker on a great run so far in seventh. Wilco in 8th, Murkoff in 10th, and Speed is, I've messed that right up somewhere. Now Speed is in 10th, Murkoff is in 9th. It's bad when the numbers are on the screen and you still get it wrong. So we're past the halfway mark of this Tier 1 Round 3. This is shake up the standings a little bit. Alex is non-finished today. Sean down in 5th. Not going to make too much inroad depending on what the Tier 2 result is. Not going to make too much of an inroad towards Pegasus, but we'll have to wait till next week to find that out. Dazzler having, as I said in round 2, he had a very frustrating round 1, but round 2 and again here in round 3 he has drove exceptionally well. Great bounce back from Dazzler as you see Cusker diving into the pits. Cafe Del Mar on his debut race in the series, doing very well up in second. Hopefully he can hold that position and take a podium. Could be a man to watch through the rest of the series. Flapjack in third with a little bit of a slide through the hairpin. His third position will be helping Pegasus extend their lead probably at the top of the table. Magino is now back into fourth. He's got past Mr. Sean. Looking to see if he can make some inroads towards the guys ahead after being in the lead until his mistake out of the hairpin, which he just seems to be struggling to get the power down out of, but he's setting another best sector there. So he's got the bit between his teeth. Looking set to take his fastest lap. Just here, a car there just skipped a little bit as he put the power down, but a lot more stable this time with some rubber on those rear wheels to grip. Definitely looks set to take the fastest lap from himself. He is just under 3/10 faster in sector 2. Cafe has dived into the pits. Mung runs very wide through the final turn. Managed to keep the car pointing in the right direction, and boom, takes another fastest lap. Mr. Sean is diving in behind us. Mung runs deep into turn 1. The two wrecker ball cars now running third and fourth. Sean coming out on some fresh racing super softs. Jeff Cusker's on racing mediums. He must really be struggling with tyre wear because nobody would willingly pick them when you have the faster compounds available. He just must be chewing through super softs and softs. He'll have a bit more durability in them racing mediums, but he will still give away a bit of grip. So they will last longer, but they'll still feel like maybe slightly worn softs. Wilco is now past Rocker into 7th. Rocker looks like he's been in the pits, that's why. Excuse me. Rocker with a fresh set of boots. See if we're looking to get back past Wilco. Speed is up into 9th. Murkoff down at 10th. Murkoff also been in the pits for a fresh set of super softs. Tesla is now screeching away, so get a big lockup from him there in turn 1. 9 minutes left of this race. His tyres are going to become very sketchy towards the end of this race. Flapjacks are better, but Cafe on brand new super soft sees in prime position maybe to get the 2 of these over these next 8 minutes. Let's see, last lap. Desla was a 1:54.7. Flapjack was a 1:53.7, so second faster. Cafe was a 1:53.1. Mung a 1:54.4, so Mung slightly faster than the guys ahead. Cafe considerably faster than Desla and half a second faster than Flapjack. So I see Cafe really in prime position at the moment to take the race win. As long as these two don't start fighting and keep gaining on Desla, then it could be game on come towards the end of the race. They're currently 9.8 behind Desla at the moment is Flapjack, with Cafe another 1.5 behind him. So we'll see. It just depends on if these two start squabbling. Flapjack's tyres are starting to drop off really quick as well now. Des has dived into the pits. He's pulled the trigger. See if he can get it. There is a quick pit stop here. Yes, and he's out just as the guys head out there. But Cafe's now up into 2nd as Flapjack has dived into the pits. Mungino is possibly going to be very close to being in 3rd. So Cafe now promoted to 2nd, Flapjack in 3rd. Mungino just behind Flapjack now in 4th. Desert looked to have covered off the guys behind. He probably seen the Delta drop in. I knew it was time to dive in and get a fresh set to protect his first place. Flapjack now trying to chase after Cafe. That's where the action is going to be. I think this man has now sealed it with that pit stop. Unless he makes a mistake, Desert looks nailed on for round 3 victory. So that'll be first 3 races, 3 different people on the top step of the podium. Just going to show the level of drivers we have now in this series. Anybody on any day can take a victory. And Cafe now has to be careful about this man behind. He does have slightly better tyres now. I think a lot of this final bounce down is who is going to make the least mistakes. Although Sean is in a very, very lonely 5th place, so I would say nothing much is going to change with him. But do you have Jeff Kuska and Rocker battling now? Rocker looking up the inside, just a little bit too far back. Rocker's really having a fantastic race. He's past Wilco. He was behind him after the pit stops. He's got past Wilco, and now he's charging after Kuska, who's just broadside through there. He's really struggling on those racing mediums now as we're starting to kick in on them. They're going to be feeling very, very slippery. That's allowed Wilco to catch right up. Rocker looks up the inside, heading down towards the final corner. So that's Rocker through up into 6th. Wilco's going to follow him through into 7th. So in 2 corners, Jeff Kuska has lost 2 places, and he says, nah, sod that, get these off my car. He took a gamble, it didn't pay off. Unlucky, my friend, but Rocker, fantastic race. He started in 12th, he's 6 places up from where he started. Granted, two guys have left the race, but they were both behind him when they left. So all the places he has gained himself, he hasn't got them by default. So fantastic race so far by Rockers. Just say that he has a massive slide through, allows Wilco to close back up as they head down towards the hairpin. But Rocker just takes the defensive line and covers off Wilco. Wilco's going to try and have a look round the outside, but just not enough grip to get round there, holding the faster pace. There's too far to go round that hairpin on the outside. Oof, that was an exciting couple of seconds. So now you have Kuska behind them in a world of his own. Murkoff now in 9th. Speed behind in 10th. This man has checked out, and he has just took the fastest lap of the race, so Mangino is really getting a kick in there while he's down. Flapjack still holding on to 2nd. Cafe is closing. He's getting closer and closer. He's 3 minutes left, so we have 2 laps left to go. Can Cafe do it? What's the gap between them now? Gap is 1.5 seconds. Cafe definitely can do it. He can get it up into 2nd. He does have slightly better tyres than Flapjack, though he is carrying a lot more fuel. So either Flapjack is underfueled or Cafe is overfueled. Look at that, Cafe is overfueled. Will the weight hurt him? Hopefully not. See how he feet can close up anymore. Not much else happening around the field. Although look at this. Wilco's dropped back from Rocker and now has Jeff Kuska crawling all over the back of him. You should have been on them tyres already, Kuska. Those mediums didn't help you. Look at this now, all over the back of Wilco. Wilco really struggling. His tyres are worn. Gonna be feeling very second hand as we see Kuska. Oh, he takes a move up the outside. Little bit of contact. I don't really think there's much malice in that, but Kuska does the honourable thing and slows down. Lets Wilco retake the position. Although he has gone past now, he's letting him on the track. To be honest, I think that was a race there, so I don't really think he needed to lift and hold him off. Wilco was struggling on worn tyres, had a bit of a wobble, and they sort of both tried to occupy the same point on the asphalt, but no harm, no foul. They're both away down the road. This man will be more than happy because he now has a huge gap to them behind. But we'll head back towards the front. Dezza still on his own. Caught twitching a little bit there for him. Flapjack still in second. He's now got the fuel light flashing at him as they are on their final lap. Cafe really trying to catch him. Don't think he's going to be able to close it up. It looks like they've kind of balanced out at the moment. Could just be the difference in the weight of the two cars with the fuel. Have evened it out slightly, though. Cafe's going to be in the slipstream now. Can he make enough ground down here towards the hairpin? If he can get close enough, he can maybe have a go into the final corner. Try and force Flapjack into a mistake. Look how much he's closing up under the braking. He just has a bit more grip than Flapjack, so a little bit more trust that the car will stick. As Cafe's really closing on him now. We'll just quickly head down to the leader as he comes down onto the start-finish straight. To finish the race, Dazzler has drove exceptional with the fastest lap at 152.2 and takes the win. Congratulations, Dazzler, for the win in round 3. And we have Flapjack just holding Cafe off. Cafe trying to steal a bit of slipstream. But great race from them too. A great debut race in the series for Cafe Del Mar for Wrecking Ball Racing. So Flapjack second, Cafe in third. Mungino comes home in fourth after another frustrating mistake for him, but a great result nonetheless. Mr. Sean's going to come home in a very lonely fifth. He probably thought the race had been cancelled. He hasn't seen anyone in that long. Rocket now being put under severe pressure by Kuska, but he's managing to hold him off as they come down towards the final turn. Rocket takes the defensive line, just gets a little bit out of shape. He's running a little bit wide, but manages to keep the foot buried. Rocker comes home in sixth, Jeff Kuska in seventh. Great run by Rocker. Wilco's gonna come home in eighth, Murkoff in ninth, and Speed is gonna come home in 10th. Oh, he's already finished actually in 10th. So that's it for round 3 from Autodrome Lake Maggiore. Please join us next week for round 4.